Now, The Hunt Palmer Show.
Waiting to rise again.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show. Brought to you by Corks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is the moment you've all been waiting for.
Locking down the middle of the day. Live from the Raising Cane studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
Welcome in. Hunt Palmer coming to you from the Raising Cane studio downtown in the capital city on this Football Friday. It means we're brought to you by Corks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp. Jordan Kitchens and Cassie Spazzali back there on the ones and twos. We're fired up that you're here with us, trying to get to the finish line. Hopefully you're there, but if you're not, we'll get you there on this Friday. Our normal segments coming right at you. Got Preston Guy, TigerBait.com in 15 minutes. We'll set the stage for the NFL Sunday to come at 1:30. Saints Bucs pick coming up at the end of the hour. We'll also do my SEC picks against the spread. Take it or leave it. Final pick for LSU A&M. You know the drill by now. We've had plenty of Football Fridays, so let's get this one rocking and rolling the way we do every single day.
It's time for Hunt's Opening Drive, presented by Genesis of Baton Rouge.
I don't like cliches. I think they're tired. I think they're uninformative. I think they're lazy. I don't like them. I try to avoid them. At times, they can just come out. But I try to avoid cliches if possible. One of the most overused and incorrectly used cliches in all of sports is the term must win. It's overused. Oftentimes, you hear, is this a must win? I was listening to a Cubs podcast in August, and the question was posed, is this a must-win game? Of course it's not a must-win game in Major League Baseball in August. It's not. It's overused. This game for LSU on Saturday is a must-win. It is. Now, there are plenty of you that are driving around listening to me live, that'll tune into this on YouTube or catch us on demand pregame, who would say, this team can't run the table. They're not going to Tuscaloosa and winning. They probably can't keep up with Arkansas, score enough points. They're not going to Norman, Oklahoma and winning. It's just a matter of time before the championship dream is dead, before the playoff dream is dead. Who cares? There are plenty of you that are probably saying that. But the fact of the matter is that they're not dead until they are. And if you lose Texas A&M, you're dead. And that makes this a must-win game for LSU. That pressure does not exist on the other sideline Saturday night. Texas A&M has put itself in position with some wiggle room. They're 7-0. You figure 10-2 is enough to get in. You lose a game on Saturday night, you still got one to play with probably. LSU has run out of rope. You got 2 losses. You went to Oxford and didn't get done. You went to Nashville, you didn't get it done. So, if you want to keep living this dream, which everybody was talking about preseason, Brian Kelly, SEC Media Days, Garrett Nussmeier in his return video, Josh Thompson to the media. This was the stated goal. Get into the playoff, compete for a national championship. And you may think that's silly, and that's fine, but we'll just deal in realities as opposed to hypotheticals, which is the rest of the season. The reality is that LSU has 2 losses and can't afford a third. So this game on Saturday night is a must-win for LSU. We talked about a lot of the different matchups in this game. I highlighted LSU's issues at tackle, which we'll get to in a little bit because there's been a change made with Carius Kern. Talked about that against A&M's pass rush, which has been very, very good. Cash Sowell's been excellent on the edge, and you're going to have to deal with that with the true freshman left tackle and a right tackle who's taking his lumps. Talked about it. Talked about Texas A&M's elite wide receivers, Casey Concepcion, Mario Craver, going against Mansour Delane, P.J. Woodland, DJ Pickett. That LSU secondary, that is good on good. That's going to be some good stuff on the outside on Saturday night. Talked about it. We're going to talk about the quarterbacks coming up because it's a big night for them. But I also point to one spot on the field that I think is incredibly crucial in this game if LSU is to have a chance to spring a small upset on Saturday night in terms of the Vegas number. That is this Texas A&M offensive line. You've got Trey Zunn at left tackle, Chase Basantis, who is, I believe, in year 426 at Texas A&M. He's at left guard. You got Mark Nebu Jr. at center. Armaj Reed Adams at right guard. Demetrius Crownover is at right tackle. It's a veteran group. Entering this season, they had 161 career starts. That was 5th most among all FBS schools. And A&M has leaned on this group hard through the first 2 months of the season. This is a team that is one of just 5 FBS offenses that's in the top 30 in total yards, passing efficiency, rushing, scoring, and time of possession. They are the leader in the FBS in fewest tackles per loss allowed per game. They only allow 2.7 TFLs per game. If you look at Pro Football Focus, another metric here. It's an A&M offensive line that's got a 92.7 pass block efficiency rating. That's 9th in the Power 4. This is a very, very, very good and big group. They average 323 pounds up front. And if LSU is going to win this football game, you've got to match them. You don't have to dominate them. I'm not suggesting that LSU is going to go out there and get 9 TFLs against a team that averages 3. I'm not saying that LSU is going to go back there and roll up 5 sacks. We haven't seen this LSU pass rush be very good, quite frankly. They've been okay sending some blitzes and getting home there or getting into the backfield. They didn't get Diego Pavia on the ground last week, but they got back there. But you got to hold your own. And last week, against a unique Vanderbilt offensive line, that's another word that's overused and improperly used all the time, but there's not a line exactly like Vanderbilt's that switches sides and has that type of offensive personality and has that kind of maturity. Against those guys, LSU did a good job with the traditional, and I use air quotes there, run game in terms of just handing the ball off to the tailback. Vanderbilt didn't run for a ton. They broke one late, but a lot of Vanderbilt's running was done with Pavia off script, some awkward plays that ended up hurting LSU. But when you just handed the ball off, LSU was pretty good straight ahead, and they've been that all year. Clemson gave up on the run. Florida could not run the ball on LSU. These are worse teams than Texas A&M. But you look at that defensive front that you think is getting Jamari Butler back, that hopefully gets Bernard Gooden back. It's got Jacobian Guillory, Ahmad Bro, Don McKinley, Jack Pyburn, who's really good against the run, Patrick Payton. They have got to, in front of that linebacking group that does not have Whit Weeks, you've got to hold up your end of the bargain. You've got to force a couple negative plays. You've got to get a couple short yardage stops. You cannot allow Texas A&M's offense to get rolling on the ground, because if it does, you saw that last year, it's a nightmare. This is a team that wants to line up and run the football. And they can. They absolutely ran all over the Auburn Tigers. Just absolutely torched them on the ground. And that's what they want to do. That's what Mike Elko, that's what Colin Klein wants to do. Wasn't the prettiest thing in the world, but they got it done. Now, Le'Veon Moss played for them in that game. He's not going to play in this game. And he had 139 yards, but A&M ran it 47 times in that game. 47 times. Reuben Owens ended up breaking off a 33-yarder. Le'Veon Moss broke off a 38-yarder. Marcel Reed ran for 12. He got sacked a couple times. But they want to focus on the running game. And if you don't take that away, they're just going to keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it. You look at them against Arkansas last week. 217 yards on 6.2 carries. A&M has different ways to beat you. They want to shoot out in South Bend. They want to shoot out in Fayetteville. They want to rock fight against Auburn. They have the versatility. But where it starts for them is on the ground. And I'll take my chances with LSU's DBs if that's what A&M is going to have to go beat to win the game. There aren't a lot of people with a ton of confidence in this town right now. I get it. I'll make my pick at the end of the game. The end of the game. At the end of the show. If I make the pick at the end of the game, I'll probably get it right. At the end of the show, I'll give my pick. But if A&M does get the ground game going, I can promise you LSU won't win the game. And if A&M doesn't get the ground game going, I promise you LSU will have a chance to win the game. I think it is a crucial spot in this game because of the personality of A&M. And theoretically, you look at LSU on paper, you look at what they are physically, you look at their maturity and their depth up front, outside of missing Whit Weeks, like, you should have a chance. This is not going to be like last year where LSU was really taken off guard by the fact that Marcel Reed was in the game. LSU was taken off guard by that, and they had no plan for it, and that was a huge mistake. They'll be ready for him this time around. And if you're saying to me that A&M has a menu of options, which I would suggest they do, I'm going to try to force them to choose throwing the football. And look, Marcel Reed threw for 300 in South Bend. Made the play on fourth down when he had to. Got help from an obvious hold that wasn't called. Oh well. It's the official's job. But he made the plays when it counted on the road. You have to look at this Texas A&M offensive front, the Maroon Goons, as they're called. You got to stare them down and hold your own. Doesn't have to be completely dominant. A&M's going to run the ball a lot, and they'll probably get some yards. But you cannot let them crack 200 yards rushing and get the ball rolling downhill. Force them into some 2nd and 10s. Force them into some 3rd and 9s. And take your chances with probably the strength of your team right now, which is your corners. That's where I am. Casey Concepcion, Mario Craver, they might get you. I certainly would not shut the door on that. But what you've got to do is make sure that that's what A&M has to do. Because if you give them the easy way out, they're going to take it. And they're very capable there. So, to me, the running game, big spot in this game. LSU's held its own there all year long, outside of some wonky stuff in Nashville. This is not an A&M team that wants to run the same tempo as Ole Miss, but they're going to have some quarterback run, and they're going to hand the football off. You got to hold your own at the point of attack if you're LSU. All right, Corks, Cajun Fried Fish and Shrimp brings you our Friday shows every single week. Always appreciate the folks at Corks. If you're looking for a tailgate, they can help you with that. They feed the masses gladly. So if you don't want to cook, bring things out for the tailgate, let Corks help you out tomorrow. Got big old trays, that crispy fried catfish, jumbo Gulf shrimp, those honey butter rolls, your coleslaw, all the sauces your heart can desire, hush puppies. They got it all. Check out the menu online at corksfishandshrimp.com. Looks like we're going to have to move Preston back a little bit. So we'll continue our discussion with LSU and Texas A&M as we move forward. When we come back, we will get to the Saints and the Buccaneers. I'll give you my pick for that game. We'll do it when we come back.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
One Bath and Closets. OneBathAndClosets.com is the website. David Duvall and his team, 30 years redesigning and remodeling bathrooms and closets. They can customize their work to fit your exact specifications. That's the beauty when they come in and design that closet for you. They'll give you a questionnaire in that consultation. How many pair of shoes you got? How many clothing options are we talking about? How many people are using these closets? All that can be taken care of and customized. If you're looking for an example of their great work, just go to onebathandclosets.com. You'll see some of the pictures. You can see the reviews from their satisfied customers there as well. And you can request that free sit-down with David Duvall, who's been doing this for 30 years. And he can help you walk through this process step by step. Closet space is important. I learned that out the hard way. I had to move to go ahead and take care of our situation in the Palmer house. You don't have to do that. You can call One Bath and Closets. Find them online at onebathandclosets.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Raising Cane's is our victory meal.
Football fans are some of the most dedicated fans in sports. It's a fundamental quality we share, and that fuels every single order of our hand-battered chicken fingers. Wherever there's football, there's Raising Cane's.
One love. Let's go.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Friday's AFR from Don Juan Cigar Bar, presented by Pinhook Bourbon. We'll have craft cocktails, whiskey samples, previewing the Tigers and the Aggies. Join us for AFR 3 to 6, presented by Pinhook Bourbon.
At Luba Workers Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Corks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp.
Chat with Preston Guy 1 hour from right now. Get you set up for the NFL slate to come. Got an amazing stat to run through in the NFL slate here coming up in the next segment. My final pick for Saints Bucs is coming up here, and we'll do that for LSU and Texas A&M at the end of the show. So appreciate you hanging out with us here on a Football Friday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. It is a gorgeous Friday in the capital city. Hope you're out there enjoying it if you're in South Louisiana. We'll see when the rain comes. I don't know when that's going to happen. Might be pregame, might be right in the middle of the game, hopefully postgame. Sounds like weather's headed our direction, but for right now, it's gorgeous out there. My kids had Fall Fest over at the school/daycare today. Apparently that was a festive occasion, so hopefully you're able to spend some time with friends and family in the outdoors today before things get a little sloppy later this weekend. Speaking of later this weekend, the Saints will play the Buccaneers late game, 3:05 on Fox on Sunday. Injury discussion has really dominated the week when it comes to this game. Mike Evans being out with a broken clavicle. Chris Godwin got the leg injury. Jalen McMillan with a neck issue. Bucky Irving's got a foot and a shoulder issue for running back for Tampa. The Saints going to be moving on without their best offensive player in Eric McCoy at center, which is a big, big deal, obviously, especially going against Vita Vea and this Bucs front. So the injuries have dominated the discussion, but I kind of want to move a little bit beyond that, even though it's tough to do, and talk about what I think goes on the field. The Saints' run defense was just abhorrent last week. It's just awful. I mean, you're watching the game and you can see it, but if you just turn on the highlight package and condense that game down to like the 15 minutes that are on YouTube, like it's just a bunch of DeAndre Swift running 15 yards before anybody touches him. The Saints' run defense was terrible. And so you're looking at the advanced analytics that you sometimes read about, and the Saints rank near the bottom of the league in rush stop win rate, 27.7%. I know that Bucky Irving's not there for the Bucs, but I still think they're going to try to test that Saints run defense. And I think they're going to try to run it right at the Saints. We saw them do it last year in the Dome. So that's what's got to happen first. Your guys up front, Gottschall, Brzee, Cam, Chase Young coming back from illness, Granderson, DeMario, Werner. If they get a wild hair and put Stutzman in there, like that front has got to be miles better than it was last week. Because if you're not, and you just let teams run wind sprints to the tune of 200 yards on the ground, you have no shot of winning this game. None. So off the bus, first thing, NFL teams don't necessarily ride a bus to their home games, but first thing, you got to stop the run. You have to. Because if you don't, you've got no chance. Because Baker Mayfield, save last week when things got a little hairy against the Lions, has played great football this year. You're talking about a quarterback who has 8 passing touchdowns on deep throws that travel 20-plus yards in the air. That's something the Saints have been searching for. The Bucs got it. And I know they don't have their go-to guys at wide receiver, but Ibuka's pretty talented. And Baker will take his shots. And they will be there if you cannot put up a resistance against the run. And so that's like job number 1 for New Orleans. Got to stop the run. Secondly, for New Orleans, you got to run the ball. Like this is kind of cliche stuff, but it's just very true. And I think Alvin Kamara is going to get a huge workload in this game. I just don't feel like Devin Neal is at the point where he's going to get 12 carries in this game. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe he has to. But this feels like last year. Remember last year, Miller was hurt, and essentially they just said, Kamara, we got to have you, bud. And he was banged up, apparently had broken ribs, and he went out there and gutted through it. And it was probably unfair, but it was a huge workload. And I feel like you're going to get that in this game. Because with a new center, with young tackles, I just don't want to put too much pressure on them in pass pro. I'd rather move forward. So I think in this game, the Saints have got to try to establish some sort of running game. If you can't do that, forget it. These are two organizations that are very familiar with each other, even though you got a new coaching staff here with the Saints. Division games can be weird, but this one feels to me to be straightforward from that perspective. This is a game, as I said yesterday, that if I look at this in August, I'm going, I don't think so. And this is a game where if you look at it 4 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, you're going, okay, probably not. Because the Bucs got off to a good start. They beat Atlanta on the road by a field goal. Then they beat the Texans on the road. Starting 2-0 on the road, pretty impressive stuff. They go beat the Jets. They hang with the Eagles but lose that game. They go to Seattle and win. The Saints saw how difficult that is. Then they beat San Francisco. And you're looking up, and this is a team that's 5-1 with a 1-score loss to the Eagles, who at that point were playing a lot better. And it's like, this is a mismatch against the Saints. But now you look back and you go, okay, well, they played really poorly against a really good Lions team last week. Short week, and their injury list is really long. And it feels different. It feels like a different deal. But what I keep going back to on the field, not with injuries, is this is Spencer Rattler against Baker Mayfield. And if I'm putting together a tier list of quarterbacks in the NFL, Spencer Rattler's going to be bottom half. And the way Baker Mayfield has played is what, top 5? Is that too ambitious? Like, I don't know if that's too ambitious to label Baker Mayfield's play this year as top 5 in the NFL.
It's top 10 for sure.
Yeah, top 10 for sure.
Top 10 for sure.
And so that spot is the one that bothers me. That's the one that I have a hard time getting over the hump on to pick New Orleans. I think Rattler's played better, and he certainly has to play well in this game. Because last week was that first crack in the door of, okay, when do we need to get a look? Because I told you 2 weeks ago, I was like, this is not a move that I'm ready to make at this point. You've got time. You can be patient. I don't have to go to Tyler Shuck the way Rattler is developing. But at the same breath, I said, look, if the plateau happens or a drop-off happens, that's when you will make that call. And last week was bad. It was bad. Got to take care of the football on the first drive of the game, carelessly handling it in traffic. You can't make the throws he did for both reasons, inaccuracy and poor decision-making for those 3 picks. Making the throw behind Mason Tipton, bad decision to wing it down the field, thrown against his body. Like, it's just bad. He played a bad game. And I'm okay with the bad game for still a fairly new young quarterback. But you can't stack bad games. And if you play another one here, I think you're looking at his last shot in Los Angeles before you're going to have to make that switch. So it's a big spot for Spencer Rattler. The Saints have got to stop the run, which they didn't do last week, and they've got to get Kamara going to make things a little bit easier. And then make it a tight game. Make it a tight game, and maybe you make the play to win it late in this game. I'm not going to pick the Saints in this game. I'm going to pick Tampa to do it in kind of an ugly game, kind of just not an aesthetically pleasing game. I'll take Tampa 27-16. I think the Saints settle for some field goals. That's another thing we got to talk about because Blake Grupe's one miss away from tryout season. But I think this is an ugly game. I think it's one that Baker Mayfield makes some plays in. I don't trust Spencer Rattler to do that right now. And I think that the Bucs probably pull ahead by a second score in the fourth quarter, keep the Saints at arm's distance, and win the game. That's my 2 cents on it. I got the Buccaneers winning this one in New Orleans behind Baker Mayfield, who I just think is probably the most impactful player on the field Sunday afternoon in the Dome. So that's my thoughts on it. Jordan Kitchens, you've heard my breakdown. You've heard me talk about it this week. How are we feeling?
I'm not gonna come out on a limb and go back to Saints like I did last week.
I did that too. That was a poor decision.
Yeah, I learned from my mistakes. It's not. This is blasphemous. I'm even saying this on, especially about my squad. But at the same time, it's like the Bucs. They have playoff aspirations. They have the better quarterback. It's cool. You're in the Dome, but it's like at this point in time, the Saints just got to show me. And I get it. It's the NFL. Any given Sunday, anybody can be beaten. So it's not like this is a 10-0, super team coming into the Dome. But the Saints, they're going to have to pull off a miracle. It will have to be an ugly game for the Saints to win, like you said. Like, they're going to have to muck
turnovers.
it up. Yeah, turnovers. You're going to have to a lot of, like, peanut punch fumbles. You're going a whole bunch of just
You need a frustrated
miracle.
Baker who doesn't have his 2 wide receivers, and he gets overjuiced and makes some
maybe a
decision.
block kick or something. You're going to need something like that to turn the tide. But if it's just a straight-up game where it's not many turnovers going on, it's just the Saints versus the Bucs, obviously the Bucs are going to come out on top. And I'm going to have to go with the Bucs. Again, it's any given Sunday, anybody can be beat, but right now they embarrassed me against the Bears. I just got to roll. I can't do it 2 weeks in a row.
I'm with the Bucs as well. That's our pick here on this Football Friday. Our Friday slate, just for those that are new here, is wall-to-wall here local from 7 a.m. moving forward. Jake and Flynn are at Rouse's on Burbank and Lee moving forward on Football Fridays. They're there from 7 o'clock to 10 o'clock. That's when the guys at Live at Lunch take over. Long edition of Live at Lunch, 10 to 1 o'clock from Rufino's. Richard Dixon involved, all their handicappers as well. And they hand off to me here in the studio 1 to 3. Matt from 3 to 6 on After Further Review. And we go into Louisiana Prep Preview, Catholic High Football. So we're live and local every Football Friday from 7 a.m. all the way through Catholic High, which generally runs you about 9 o'clock. So you're looking at about 14 hours local programming on Football Fridays. Hope you'll join us for it as we move forward in this fall. All right, when we come back, we'll get you set up for the NFL Sunday to come. That's next on the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Genesis of Baton Rouge. GenesisofBatonRouge.com is that website. Every car that's on the lot is online at GenesisofBatonRouge.com, and they have got America's best warranty. It is industry leading. The peace of mind you get from this warranty is simply wonderful. Got a powertrain warranty, 10 years, 100,000 miles. That new vehicle bumper-to-bumper warranty, 5 years, 60,000 miles. You just bring it in. They make sure everything is good to go. Speaking of that, your complimentary scheduled maintenance for 3 years. So when you got to get that oil change, you got to get that air filter handled, the wiper blades need a touch-up. Hey, they got you covered for 3 years, complimentary, and it's valet. They'll go get your car, bring it back to the dealership, get that service done, leave you a loaner so you're not without a car, bring it back to you when it's done. It's the convenience. It's the customer service. It's all part of being a Genesis driver. Most of you have not gotten behind the wheel of a Genesis. Make that change when you're in the market for a vehicle. Might be next month, might be next year. Keep Genesis on your list there. Airline at PQ and online at GenesisofBatonRouge.com.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even JB could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of JB Falgu.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, Ice Cubes.
Need security services you can count on? With Veteran Security Services, you're always protected. Locally owned and proudly serving the Gulf Coast, they're not some big national firm chasing profits. They're neighbors protecting neighbors. From petrochemical plants and healthcare facilities to port and maritime operations, Veteran Security delivers reliable protection you can trust. Choose community. Choose confidence. Choose Veteran Security Services. Visit veteransecurityfirm.com. Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Friday's AFR from Don Juan Cigar Bar, presented by Pinhook Bourbon. We'll have craft cocktails, whiskey samples, previewing the Tigers and the Aggies. Join us for AFR 3 to 6, presented by Pinhook Bourbon.
Trust isn't given, it's earned by showing up, leading the way, and performing at your best when it matters most. Our Lady of the Lake sports medicine experts know what it takes to improve performance and build champions at every level. That's why LSU chose Our Lady of the Lake as its championship health partner, trusting Louisiana's best medical team to care for our state's best athletes. From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
I trust the lake.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Corks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp.
Friday show is brought to you by Corks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp. Getting you ready for the Saints and Bucs. Gave you my pick in the last segment. We will talk Tigers and Aggies coming up in the next segment. We'll do that with Preston Guy at 2:15. My SEC picks against the spread coming up in about 25 minutes or so. A little bit more than that, but right around there. And then, again, my pick for LSU and Texas A&M at the end of our show today. Hope you're having a good one on this Friday. Wild slate of NFL games in a weird way. I rank them in tiers every single week. And I give you the worst stuff at 4 all the way up to the best stuff at 1. I don't have anything in tier 4 this week, and I don't have anything in tier 1. It's just a bunch of football action. And those tend to be kind of the weirdest weekends at times. So let's crank it up the way we do every Friday and get you ready for the NFL slate to come. I told you, there's nothing in tier 4. There's no awful action. So we just skip up to tier 3. Jets at the Bengals. It's not great. It could be tier 4. Maybe it's the diehard Bengals fan in me, except I haven't watched them since Joe got hurt. What's to put it in tier 3? The Jets are 0-7. We'll see if they go with Tyrod Taylor or Justin Fields. The Bengals are the worst rushing team in the NFL, and that's just an indictment on the organization that they cannot put anything around Joe Burrow. I know he's out, but they don't do anything else well when he's not there. Stinks. Maybe Flacco can throw to Chase 50 more times this week. Dolphins are at the Falcons. Bijan Robinson leads the NFL in total yards per game, and the Dolphins have allowed 5 of their 7 running backs they've faced over 100 yards. If you're a Bijan owner in fantasy, you're going to win this week because he's going to go berserk against the Dolphins. The Browns are at the Patriots. Drake May has had the highest QBR in the NFL against man coverage, and that Browns defense is very good, and they play a ton of man. We'll see if Drake May can handle them. Look, the Browns, 0-8 against the spread in their last 8 road games. Not overall, not straight up. 0-8 against the number, and you know they're not being favored on the road. That's pathetic by the Browns. The Eagles are at the Giants. Divisional game. The Giants haven't won in Philly since 2013. I just, for grins, looked up what was the top song the last time that the Giants beat the Eagles in Philly. It was Radioactive by Imagine Dragons. That's been around a while. The Giants don't win in Philly really ever. All right, the Titans are at the Colts. The Colts have won 5 straight versus the Titans with 4 different quarterbacks. Daniel Jones, Joe Flacco, Gardner Minshew, and Anthony Richardson. Doesn't matter. Colts still beat the Titans. That is not great, Nashville. All right, tier 2, better football. Nothing at the top of the list, so this is as good as you got this week. Got the Bills at the Panthers. The Panthers are 4-3. I didn't even realize that. so deep in the Saints over here. Now I don't even care about the NFC South because the Saints aren't going to win that. Panthers have a winning record. And the Bills have not cracked 20 points in either of their last 2 games. Last time they went 3 straight without cracking 20 was back in 2020, the COVID season. Let's see if the Bills can shake out of it in Charlotte. The Bears are at the Ravens. 1-5 is tied for the worst start in Ravens franchise history. Think Lamar is going to be back. He's out there on the practice field. The Bears are plus 6.5 in this game, and they have covered 4 straight. I think they might be able to go to Baltimore and cover this one as well. The Ravens just aren't playing defense really at all. All right, 49ers at the Texans. Brock Purdy and Mac Jones, that combo. San Francisco leads the NFL in passing yards per game. That's pretty impressive by Kyle Shanahan. It's going to be a tough day for Derek Stingley. He's got to come to work because the 49ers can really, really throw it. Speaking of really throw it, the Cowboys can do that as well. They are at the Broncos. Dak Prescott, 4 straight games with 3 touchdowns and no interceptions. That's the second longest streak in NFL history. That kind of shocks me. I would think that Drew Brees did that pretty routinely, 3 touchdowns and no picks in his heyday. But Dak is knocking on the door of history. He's done it in 4 in a row. And then the last one here, the Packers are at the Steelers. It's Aaron Rodgers against the Packers there in Pittsburgh. The Steelers have scored 7 points or fewer in the first quarter in 56 straight games. They have not scored 10 points in the first quarter in 56 games. It's the longest streak in the NFL. I thought that stat was absolutely bananas. I realize that offenses don't go nuts in the first quarter, but 56 games, you hadn't had a touchdown and a field goal? Feels like printing that stat, which I read on ESPN.com. Printing that stat means I think the Steelers are going to break that streak. That is a mind-blowing streak. But that's your look at the NFL slate coming up on Sunday. Is that not wild to you, Jordan? 56 games in a row, they scored 7 or fewer in the first quarter?
No, that is extremely wild because 56
It's not like they're an inept franchise. They hadn't been great the last couple of years, but they always win 8 games.
How many years is 56 games?
I mean, I'll do the math. 56 divided by 17, which I mean, there would be no shot I could do that. It's 3.29 years, 3 1/3 years.
That's still a long time to not score.
That blew me away when I saw that stat, and the fact that the Giants can't beat the Eagles.
Well, I'm not too surprised about that. The Giants not beating the
Giants
Eagles.
are bad, but it's a division game. Weird stuff happens in a game. This year, if I would have told you in week 2 that the Panthers were going to beat Atlanta 30-0.
Oh no, not even close.
Division games can be a little bit weird. But the fact that they can't win since 2013.
So what you're telling me, there's a chance on Sunday?
Yes, I am.
There's a chance.
I'll be quite candid with you. This is how live radio can sometimes trick you a little bit. I had written on my sheet Eagles at Giants, and then I was talking about how the Giants can't win in Philly, and I was like, that's a weird thing to. And then I checked it. It is in Philly, so I just wrote it wrong on my sheet like an idiot. But live radio, you just got to keep going.
Well, also at the same time, did it really change anything if there was at New York or there was at Philly? You still was going to go with the Eagles regardless.
What are your thoughts on Imagine Dragon Radioactive? You know what that's? Do you have ever heard that song?
Did it come out in 2014?
2013.
Then yes, I do know that. That's the well dun, dun, dun.
Radioactive.
Yeah, something like that. I knew something like that.
We are extremely vocally talented here on this show.
America got next.
A lot of bye weeks this week, by the way, in the NFL. If you're a fantasy owner, Lions, Raiders, Rams, Cardinals, Seahawks, Jags, all off. 6 teams with a bye week, and then on Monday we'll talk about Commanders and Chiefs. That's the Monday night game.
Brutal.
Without Jaden, it's just not quite the draw. The Chiefs got off to a little bit of a clunky start. They're now 4-3. Commanders 3-4, but playing without Jaden. We'll see what Mariota can do in that one. But we'll preview that one coming up on Monday. So that's your look at the National Football League. When we come back, we'll transition over to LSU and Texas A&M. Again, we talked about that matchup a lot. I've got my pick coming up about an hour and 10 minutes from now. But we'll close out first hour here on this Football Friday with some LSU A&M talk. That is next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
When it comes to pipe fabrication, time is money. And at River Parish Contractors, we make every second count. Our 36,000 square foot shop is ready to take on your projects right now. With experienced welders, precise fittings, and fast turnarounds you can trust. Whether it's a single custom spool or a full-scale run, we have the capacity and the skill to keep your job on schedule. Call us or visit rpcontractors.com for your quote. That's rpcontractors.com.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Huh. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Raising Cane's is our victory meal.
Football fans are some of the most dedicated fans in sports. It's a fundamental quality we share, and that fuels every single order of our hand-battered chicken fingers. Wherever there's football, there's Raising Cane's.
One love. Let's go.
In South Louisiana, you can always count on good people coming together to help our children.
At Dreams Come True, we grant wishes for Louisiana children with life-threatening illnesses. But to do this, we need funds.
That's why we're trying to raise $100,000 for Dreams Come True by giving away the Blessed Builder School.
Make your backyard's dream come true while helping our kids.
Just go to dreampoolla.com and you can find out how your $25 donation might help win you a Duplessis pool.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Flight by Yingling. Raise the bar.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Corks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp.
Something just occurred to me. The game is slated, if you look at LSU A&M, if you look at the website on SECsports.com as well as ESPN, it says 6:30 on ABC. We all know that actually slides back a little bit for television, but it says that, and we always position our shows in accordance with that. Eagle 98.1 Game Day, and then the LSU official pregame show that I host. But I think I saw something different this week on start time. Are you producing one of the game days?
I'm post game.
Okay, well that doesn't help me. I'm not 100% sure when we start because I know that time backs up a little bit. So I'm not. This is the point of the show where I always go over the game day schedule, and I'm not 100% certain on it. So I'm not going to do it.
I thought the time goes back next week.
No, we're not fall back spring forward. This is just a. I'm not sure exactly what time the game day broadcast starts. I would think 1:30. Do you?
Pregame's at 1:45.
So that's what I thought I saw.
Yeah.
So I think we're going off like kickoff time for that. So with that, and because I think I saw that from the LSU side of things, which is why when I saw the 6:30 kick on on the website, I was like, I don't know if that's right or not. Okay, so 1:45 Eagle on 8.1 game day. That puts me on the air at 4:45 on the LSU Sports Radio Network from outside the stadium. And that's when we'll start our day. So 1:45, it'll be Charles Hannegriff and Matt Musso from Rouse's, Burbank, and Lee. Then that'll put me on at 4:45 for the LSU pregame show. We'll have the call of the game over on Eagle as well. 30 minutes after it goes final, myself, Brandon Taylor, Marlon Favorite with you on the postgame show. And then 90 minutes after the game goes final, it'll be Richard Dixon and Charles Hannegriff from right here in studio with Eagle on 8.1 Game Day's postgame show, taking your phone calls in reaction to LSU and Texas A&M. A lot of variables in the game on Saturday night. A lot of variables, and certainly the weather is one. And I don't know that it's really worth talking a lot about because it's so uncertain. Maybe it starts raining at 4 o'clock and it's a deluge. Maybe it starts raining halfway through the third quarter. Maybe it starts raining after the game's over. I don't know, and I'm not a meteorologist, so I'm not going to speculate on it. But I feel confident in this assertion when I'm talking about this game. I've gone through so many different keys, matchups, the whole deal. I've done it on LouisianaSports.net, talked about it here. And I think all those are vital in this game. But I do keep returning to one thing for LSU big picture. And Garrett Nussmeier just has to play better. Like, he just has to play better football. I understand this has probably been the most challenging football season of Garrett Nussmeier's life. I wasn't there for his 6th grade football team. I don't know what happened to him in high school either. But when you consider everything he's invested into this year, meaning coming back, and I mean, if he went into the draft last year, he would have gone in the 1st or 2nd round. Like, he would have. He could have gotten a nice payday and started his professional career. Instead, he decided to come back. Now, he was paid handsomely to do that as well, but you come back and you're really focusing on winning a championship. And then you get into your last camp at LSU, 5th-year senior, and you get hurt. And he can't practice a lot, and it's bothering him, clearly. But he does enough to grit and gut it out and beat Clemson. And you feel like, okay, this is the year. This is the deal. They've got the defense in place. He's going to get healthier. They're going to be great. And you go to Athens, and you go to Oxford, and you get beat. You're still banged up a little bit. Offensive line is not playing as well. You're not running the ball at all. And that continues into Nashville. And you don't play your best. Red zone issues crop up. The defense kind of wilts against Vanderbilt. And now you've got 2 losses. You're banged up. You haven't practiced. The offensive line's not playing great. You've got 2 losses. You're on the brink. Like, this is a lot to overcome if you're Garrett Nussmeier. But if LSU is going to reach any sort of its potential, and that may not be for the season, that may be in a specific game. It may be against A&M. It may be in Tuscaloosa. Maybe it's in Norman. Could be in a shootout against Arkansas. They may reach their potential for 3 hours and not for 3 months. And that'll be disappointing. And that'll be all anybody remembers, but we're week to week here previewing these games. If he doesn't reach his potential in this game, I think it's going to be tough for LSU to win. A&M's physical. A&M's got a good defense. They're great on 3rd downs. They're great stopping the run in the red zone. They force a lot of field goals. Like, if you fall into that trap, I don't think LSU's going to keep up. This needs to look like the second half against Ole Miss last year. This needs to look like the first half in College Station last year. Do y'all remember that? I don't know if anybody even remembers that first half because the second half was so painful and so awful and such an avalanche that I don't think anybody remembers the first half. LSU was clinical in the first half of that game.
Hunt.
Yes.
After that Aaron Anderson touchdown, I could have sworn the life was sucked out the building.
Yep.
It felt like that was the nail
70-yarder. But that was the culmination of a lot of things. LSU went right down the field. Nussmeier dropped it in the bucket to Mason Taylor on a fade. Connor Wigman just looks pathetic out there. A&M can't do anything. And Nussmeier is just in rhythm, hitting his receivers. Kyron Lacey on the right sideline. Mason Taylor over the middle of the field. Aaron Anderson, boom, hit the slant. 70. He looked awesome. And then for whatever reason, a play that he said he watched all offseason, he rolled left with a 10-point lead and threw it back over his body, and A&M intercepted it, ran it back into the red zone. Marcel Reed comes in for a quarterback change. He runs the first play in for a touchdown from 20 yards out, and LSU never recovered. But if you look at the first half, buddy, they were cooking. And You got to have some of that. Like, LSU's not going to go out there on Saturday and run for 240 and 4 touchdowns. They're just not. They're not good enough to do that. Could Caden Durham or Harlem Berry bust a 70-yard touchdown run? Sure. Play in, play out, you going to sustain a great running game? No, you're not. Can the defense play really well? Absolutely. Can the defense hold this A&M team to 10 like South Carolina, like Florida, like Clemson? No, I don't believe that at all. You've got to keep up in some respect. Now, if A&M goes and scores 38, I think you can probably turn out the lights. But if this thing is around 24, which has kind of been the sweet spot for LSU, your quarterback's got to be good. And this year, he's not going to win the Heisman. He's not going to be a first-round pick, I don't think. He's not going to be a first-team all-league quarterback. LSU, in my opinion, is not going to win the national championship. A lot of things you talked about in August are not going to happen. But that doesn't mean you can't do something for 3.5 hours. And for LSU to elevate, not the run game, not the defense pitching a shutout, 5 interceptions like the Florida game, your fifth-year senior quarterback, who was the first-team all-SEC quarterback in SEC Media Days, needs to go out there and outplay Marcel Reed. Marcel Reed's got a better offensive line. He's got a talented running back. He's got 2 stud receivers that right now I think everybody would take over everybody that LSU's got. That's not a huge knock on Aaron Anderson, Barryon Brown, and a huge knock on Nick Anderson, Xavion Thomas, Chris Hilton. But Concepcion and Craver have been as good as anybody in the league. Marcel Reed's supporting cast is playing a lot better than Garrett Nussmeier's. But Garrett Nussmeier needs to outplay Marcel Reed on Saturday for LSU to have a chance to win this game. Now, again, the weather, I don't know. And if it looks like the Bama game in the first half last year where it was raining sideways, that makes life miserable. Quarterbacks hate the rain. I heard Matt Flynn talking about it today on his show. Quarterbacks hate the rain. You can try wet ball drills, this, that. Quarterbacks hate it. Can't get a great grip. Don't feel awesome. Wide receivers can slip. It's just not conducive to throwing the ball. And if it's a deluge, like, you kind of minimize what Nussmeier can do. But all things being equal, he's got to go out there and play very well. And my contention is if LSU wins this game, we're not going to look back on Garrett Nussmeier and go, oh, the championship, oh, the Heisman Trophy, oh, yeah, another first-round draft pick quarterback. I don't think you will look back on his career and think about that based on what I think is likely to happen over the last 5 weeks of this year. But you might be able to look back at that A&M game and go, oh, that was when Nussmeier really played great, put it on him. You don't talk about championships with Leonard Fournette. You talk about the games. You talk about Ole Miss. You talk about Texas Tech. You talk about Auburn. Those were 3-hour sample sizes. He didn't win the Heisman. He didn't get invited to the Heisman Trophy. And I'm not trying to just immediately lump Garrett Nussmeier right in with Leonard Fournette, but it's an example of what I'm telling you about. This is not going to be about a full season, I don't think. I could be proven wrong. It is literally possible they went out. I called it a must-win the first segment of the show. But I think that it's more likely it's one game. And to me, this is that opportunity. Like Jaden, who won the Heisman, like you talk about that, but Florida game for Jaden. The moment to Mason Taylor against Alabama for Jaden. Maybe this is that night for Garrett Nussmeier. LSU needs its starting quarterback, its fifth-year player, its number 18, to go out there and be the man in this game. And there are adverse circumstances. You got a freshman left tackle. You got a right tackle that's struggling. You got a good pass rush. Your running game's not doing it. The odds are stacked against Garrett Nussmeier on Saturday. He's got to play better. The red zone interception against South Carolina was unacceptable. He's got to make sure he hits the deep ball. That hasn't been there yet this year. Like, he's not blameless here, but let's be real. His supporting cast hasn't been lights out here. It's all got to come together in this game. This is not the greatest SEC opponent that's ever walked into Tiger Stadium. They're good. They're third in the country. They're undefeated. But it's not one of these Saban Alabama teams. It's just a damn good Texas A&M team with a lot of balance. Nussmeier has to be the difference. And let's hope that's the case coming up on Saturday. Could be a big moment for LSU's senior signal caller. A&M remains a 2.5-point favorite in this game. The total is 49.5. My inclination would be to hit the under on that because I feel like the defenses are going to play well. I feel like there could be some rain. I feel like there could be some running the ball. I feel like the clock could be running a little bit. I kind of like the under. I'll give you my pick at the end of the show. But Tigers and Aggies, about 6:45 on Saturday night in Death Valley. We'll certainly be talking about it on Monday's show. Football Friday is some of my favorite shows to do of the year. We had a great luncheon over at Lod Cook today for the Alumni Association. Colin Jeter's with us every single Tuesday. And today had an opportunity to go in and interview Lamine Barrow, and then Kevin Minter, and then Craig Steltz and Rashard Lawrence. Some great Tigers. Represented some of the great teams in LSU history, quite frankly. Steltz on the 07 championship team, Barrow and Minter on the 11 team, which was so good. And then obviously Rashard Lawrence on the 2019 team. Had a great time doing that. Just kind of gets the juices flowing here on a Friday in the capital city with the way the weather is. Should be a great night here tonight as we anticipate a big showdown in Tiger Stadium tomorrow. We'll see. Tigers can pull it out on Saturday night. All right, that's it for hour number 1. We'll step aside for national headlines and Sports Center. And in hour 2, we got tons to do. My SEC picks against the spread, Preston Guy, LSU A&M pick. All that's coming. So come back with us after Sports Center.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Raising Cane's is our victory meal.
Football fans are some of the most dedicated fans in sports. It's a fundamental quality we share, and that fuels every single order of our hand-battered chicken fingers. Wherever there's football, there's Raising Cane's.
One love. Let's go.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief.
our clients come first.
At Luva, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Sean Ryder. Celtics star forward Jaylen Brown says that the NBA isn't doing enough to protect players from issues surrounding sports betting. Veteran center DeAndre Jordan signing a one-year, $3.6 million deal with New Orleans, reports ESPN Shams Charania. It's game one of the World Series tonight in Toronto with the Blue Jays taking on the Dodgers. We'll start Blake Snell.
I mean, they got a lot of confidence right now. They're doing a good job of just like each at bat, like fueling off of each other. And yeah, I was able to watch some games and really watch them. And no, I mean, they've always been a good lineup. Bat to ball's good. So yeah, I'm excited for the challenge.
Blake Snell 3-0 with a 0.86 ERA this postseason. Toronto counters with rookie Trey Savage. Game one right here on ESPN Radio. The app coverage starts at 7 p.m. Eastern. Panthers starting Andy Dalton at quarterback for Sunday's game against the Bills in Carolina. Bryce Young dealing with a sprained ankle.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy, coming up Monday from the NFL to college football and, of course, the World Series. I'll recap it all in my Upon Further review at 7 a.m. Eastern. It's Unsportsmanlike, weekday mornings at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Now, The Hunt Palmer Show.
Waiting to rise again.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show. Brought to you by Corks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is the moment you've all been waiting for.
Locking down the middle of the day. Live from the Raising Cane studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
Hour two, Football Friday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Corks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp. Check out that menu, corksfishandshrimp.com. Our last hour of the week. My pick for LSU A&M coming up at the end of the show. Take it or leave it. Coming up a little bit later as well. We'll talk to Preston Guy in 15 minutes about the Tigers and Aggies. Jordan, I have to just enter. There's like 5 stages of grief. Is that right? 7 stages of grief? 5? Who knows?
Who knows?
One of them is acceptance.
Yes.
And I have to come to that conclusion. Like every single Friday I come here and I tell you, like, this is the week we're turning around the picks. We're going to get the picks. We're going to nail them. Great week. And every week I suck worse than the last week.
Yeah.
I'm atrocious at this, and it's not going to get any better. I'm not going to turn this season around. It's going to be bad. I am 26-40 against the spread. It's an embarrassment. Thankfully, I've wagered $0 on these games.
That's the best part about it right there.
Therefore, I'm even.
Yeah.
But it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to come up here every single Friday and every single Monday and reveal to you that I've had another losing week. 2-5 last week, 2-4 the week before that.
Ooh.
I have only had 2 winning weeks all year. I had a 3-2 week in week 6, and then I had a 6-5 week to open the season.
Well, look, I'm not trying to squeeze a lemon in the wound, okay? But you might want to just tap into Live at Lunch. You know, we come on between right around lunchtime. We come on right around lunchtime, man. Look, Jimmy Ott, Charles Handegrip, they got some guys that come in there every day that have lock picks. I'm not going to lie.
I'm supposed to be that guy.
Well, look, man.
I'm the expert. My name's on the show.
You're right. But these Vegas guys, they eat, sleep, and think sports betting. So, hey, Randy McKay, Big Dog Randy McKay, Matt Humans, you might need to get in contact with one of those guys.
I love the fact that whenever Randy McKay speaks, Jimmy Ott listens and wagers.
Oh, yeah.
He does it. There's nothing that comes out of Randy McKay's mouth that Jimmy Ott does not immediately take to the apps.
Oh, he has a notepad out and he's writing everything down. There's the reason why I said he's the first guy off the top of my head, Randy McKay.
I'm a joke. I'm a laughing stock. I'm atrocious, abysmal, and it's just an embarrassment. So I'm going to do this again, and I'm not even going to go into it with confidence. I'm just going to suggest these picks will be terrible. So here's the deal to you, the listener. This is free money. I'm giving you everything I've got on these picks. You take them, You fade them, you get rich. You have an incredible Christmas. You shower the people you love with gifts that cost thousands because you've taken these picks and faded them. They're awful. I'm not even going Costanza and doing the opposite. I'm just going to give you what I think. It'll go poorly. You'll get rich. That's what I'm offering to the listeners on this Friday.
Hey, you can't be more transparent right there. I love it.
Hit the music.
Gotcha.
All right, 11 o'clock ABC, number 8 Ole Miss, number 13 Oklahoma from Norman. Oklahoma 5.5-point favorite. Oklahoma leads the nation in total defense. They are second to Ohio State in scoring defense. Brent Venables' group, very, very good on the defensive side. Ole Miss, 8th nationally in scoring offense. This is the most consequential game for Ole Miss football since Eli fell down in 2003. I say that because right now they are firmly in the playoff picture, and if they win this game, I think they're going to make the playoff. If they win this game and make the playoff, Lane Kiffin's going to stay their coach. And he's going to stay their coach, I think, for probably a long time. If they lose this game and Lane gets a wandering eye and Gainesville comes calling, he may jump. This is how big the stakes are in this game for Ole Miss. I'm picking Ole Miss to win the game outright. I don't think Oklahoma can run the ball that well. That's what you got to do against Ole Miss. I'll take the 5.5 gladly. Give me the 5.5 points. I will take the Rebels. 11:45 SEC Network, Auburn and Arkansas. 3.5-point number. Arkansas is favored in Fayetteville. These teams are a combined 0-7 in the SEC. Auburn is 96th in the country in scoring. That's 23.6 points per game. They average 13.5 points per game in SEC play. Auburn is terrible on offense. Arkansas is 17th in the nation in scoring. They score 37 points per game. They hung 35 on Ole Miss, 31 on the Vols, 42 on A&M. Like, Arkansas is going to score a lot of points. Auburn can't score a lot of points. They don't have a quarterback. Their coach is going to get fired too. Give me Arkansas. Lay the 3.5 at home. That's easy money right there. Never said that before. 2:30 ABC. Bama at South Carolina. 11.5 the number here in Williams-Brice. South Carolina scored 7 points on Vandy, 10 on LSU, 7 on Oklahoma. Bad offense. Bama's defense held Vanderbilt to 14 points. They held a high-flying Tennessee offense to 20. Now, they had a lot of red zone interceptions in that, so that's factored in, but they're holding those teams to low numbers. This line should be like 17 or 20. I don't understand it. So clearly Vegas knows something I don't. I'm just going to hold my nose. I'll take South Carolina, a very, very bad football team. And I'll take the 11.5 points. I have no idea why, but that's just how you're supposed to wager, I think. All right, 2:30 ESPN, Missouri at Vanderbilt. Top 15 matchup, Missouri at Vanderbilt, just like everybody thought. Vanderbilt's a 3.5-point favorite. There you go. They own third downs on offense, and Missouri has been really good on third down defense. They're third in the SEC in that number. Missouri leads the SEC in rushing. Vanderbilt's run defense has been pretty solid, only allowed 3 rushing touchdowns all season. Only 4 teams in the country have allowed fewer. I think this is a close game between Missouri and Vanderbilt in Nashville. Because it's going to be a close game and the number's 3.5, I'll take the points with Missouri. I think it's a really tight game. Could go either way. Give me the points. I'll take 3.5 with Eli Drinkwitz and company in Music City. 3:15 on the SEC Network. Texas is at Mississippi State in Davis-Wade. State catching 6.5. Mississippi State has lost 15 straight SEC games, and Texas cannot score. Something's got to give here. The concerning number for Mississippi State is their rushing defense. They're 14th in the SEC in running defense. A&M ran for 299 yards on Mississippi State. Texas has got to run the ball. I think they will, and I think they'll score enough points somehow, some way to win the game. Give me the Horns minus the 6.5 in Starkville. And then the nightcap, 6:45, opposite LSU and A&M. It's the Tennessee Volunteers at Kentucky, the big grocery store. It is a 8.5-point number. Kentucky getting those points at home. Vols, worst pass defense in the SEC. Kentucky, second worst pass offense in the SEC. Only Army and UMass have fewer passing touchdowns than Kentucky this year. I think there's going to be a lot of orange in the big grocery store. I think the Kentucky fans are on to basketball and they're done with Mark Stoops. I will take the Vols in a bounce-back spot, coming from Tuscaloosa, going on the road again. I will lay that 8.5 points with a road favorite and the Tennessee Vols. Those are my picks that are sure to lose.
Yeah, I mean, the odds are against you. The odds are very against you.
The odds are 50-50. That's what the odds are, and I can't even get close to 50-50.
I will say that Bama-South Carolina game, it's got stinky written all over it.
Stinky.
It's stinky got written all over it. And I know it sounds crazy after we just saw what South Carolina did against LSU. I kind of like South Carolina, at least the cover.
They're
at least the
atrocious.
cover. I know, they're
awful,
terrible.
Awful football team.
But
no good players. Lenore Sellers, no other ones.
It's Lenore Sellers and friends. That's about it they have. But I just feel like Bama is due. I don't know where they're due, but they're due some type of way. That Florida State game, cool. But they're due one time in SEC. I just think this might be the one.
Here's the deal, people. If you're looking to buy a Genesis from Genesis Baton Rouge for Christmas, you're looking for some extra scratch, you fade these. Ole Miss catching 5.5. Arkansas laying 3.5. South Carolina catching 11.5. Missouri catching 3.5. Texas laying 6.5. And the Tennessee Vols laying 8.5. Those are my picks. How many games is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is sure to go 2-4.
2-4.
So make big wagers, make it count, because you're only going to win 2 units on that.
Hey, look, and if you fade that, like you say, get your new Genesis.
I was good last year. I was 500. This year, atrocious.
Let's make this therapy. What do you feel like the issue is this year?
I'm an idiot.
Well,
I think that's the issue.
Well, I mean, you can't. Well, it's got to be something.
Fix.
It's got to be something deeper.
I could take Keller, who's 8 months old,
yes,
and get him to point to one side or the other, and he would do better than my record at this point of 26-40. He can't even talk.
You kind of do got to switch it up now. So I can see.
I tried. Did the Costanza picks a couple of weeks ago. It was a disaster.
Oh, Lord. Well, look, man. At this point, like you said, just put the baby down, put 2 logos, and whichever side the baby crawls to.
That may be next. Next week at this time slot,
yes.
I may take the 8-month-old, plop him on the table, and have him pick.
Yeah.
That may be what happens.
And then watch. That would be your best week right there. Just because we're speaking it into existence, that's your best week right there.
That's your SEC picks against the spread. We'll talk to Preston Guy, Tigers and Aggies coming up next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Highland Insurance Group, HighlandIG.com is the website. Jonathan Carbo and his team, just phenomenal folks to work with, and they can help you with a captive. If you're a sizable business, spending a lot on premium, and your broker has not introduced the captive to you, maybe your broker is not capable, doesn't understand how that works. It's possible. Not everybody's got access to it, but the Highland Insurance Group does, and it can be an absolute game changer to your bottom line from an insurance perspective. You got to have good loss history, got to have good risk management, got to have sizable premium. But if you check those boxes, the Highland Insurance Group is happy to discuss a captive with you. So call Jonathan Carbo, reach out online at HighlandIG.com, say, hey, we're hurting on insurance renewal. We'd like to really explore a potential game changer for us in a captive. They handle them every single day at the Highland Insurance Group, and they're happy to do that for you. They're here in Baton Rouge, as I mentioned. They can help you out statewide. Check them out online at HighlandIG.com. It's the Highland Insurance Group. You can find them online at HighlandIG.com.
Raising Cane's is our victory meal.
Football fans are some of the most dedicated fans in sports. It's a fundamental quality we share, and that fuels every single order of our hand-battered chicken fingers. Wherever there's football, there's Raising Cane's.
One love. Let's go.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Flight by Yingling. Raise the bar.
Need security services you can count on? With Veteran Security Services, you're always protected. Locally owned and proudly serving the Gulf Coast, they're not some big national firm chasing profits. They're neighbors protecting neighbors. From petrochemical plants and healthcare facilities to port and maritime operations, Veteran Security delivers reliable protection you can trust. Choose community. Choose confidence. Choose Veteran Security Services. Visit veteransecurityfirm.com.
While Louisiana politics can seem like they're from another planet, Moon Griffon isn't afraid to bring politicians back down to earth. Listen to the Moon Griffon Show weekday mornings at 9 on Talk 107.3.
It's not just a game. It's a religion. You've got your team colors, team swag, and now your very own website. LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always. No paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net. Powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
In South Louisiana, you can always count on good people coming together to help our children.
At Dreams Come True, we grant wishes for Louisiana children with life-threatening illnesses. But to do this, we need funds.
That's why we're trying to raise $100,000 for Dreams Come True by giving away the Blessed Children's School.
Make your backyard's dream come true while helping our kids.
Just go to Dream.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Corks, Cajun Fried Fish and Shrimp.
All right, chugging along here on this Football Friday, brought to you by Corks, Cajun Fried Fish and Shrimp. Looking for a po' boy, maybe a late lunch, get on by and see him there, Government, between Foster and Jefferson, corksfishandshrimp.com. Preston Guy always with us on Fridays. Moved back a little bit on this Friday, but that's okay. We'll talk to him now. He's there with tigerbait.com. Preston, how are you?
All right, thanks for being flexible for me, man.
Got to be flexible, and that's it's our pleasure to bring you aboard here. You were pretty fired up on your show on Monday. Give me the nuts and bolts of where that comes from.
Yeah, I mean, look, it comes from a place of where the program is right now. This was a huge year for Brian Kelly, and now essentially he's got a snowball's chance in hell of making it to the playoffs. And this is kind of where I'm at. All right, well, look, I'm not going to lobby for anybody get fired or anything, whether it's worth buyout or anything like. I'm not going to do anything crazy like that. I will tell you that this tenure has officially been a disappointment, and it's time to stop making excuses. And, you know, if you're an LSU fan, you should expect results at this point. I mean, going 8-11 on the road during the regular season with a bunch of 500 teams and below teams that you beat, you basically have two good quality road wins since he got hired. That's South Carolina, a game you got very lucky to win, and Missouri, who took a Herculean effort from Jaden Daniels to do that. And then I also wanted to compound the fact that, okay, it's been disappointing. Fans are disappointed. And this is the point where fans have started to lose faith with Brian Kelly, or if not outright have lost faith. And I wanted to take that another level and talk about how difficult in this era it is to, when you need money more than ever to win, how much more difficult it is to rebound from losing fan faith. So whether he keeps his job or not, the fans kind of have come to a breaking point for him. And, you know, basically my point is it's going to take a Herculean effort to win the fans back at this point. And that's all the point was.
What was the biggest thing you took away from the Vanderbilt game?
It's the fact that the signature of this Brian Kelly era has now been every time you take two steps forward, somewhere else is taking two steps back. And it is, you know, I'm sure for a fan, it's painfully frustrating. They got the offense moving. They scored on their first drive for the first time all year. I did the math. They're averaging 0.042 points per drive. In fact, it's the lowest number of points you can possibly have on your opening drives that's not zero. So they finally scored on their first drive, and they're running the ball decently well. And then your defense goes out and gives up scores on 5 out of 6 of its first possessions. You lose 4 key guys to that front seven, and I get it, but it's just, to me, it's emblematic of the frustration of what this Brian Kelly era has been. The defense was atrocious in 2023. The offense was, record-breaking good. Then you fast forward 2 years later, and the defense is very, very good, and the offense is horrific. And then even within this season, okay, well, offense finally starts to produce a little better, and your defense takes a colossal step back. That's kind of my biggest takeaway is when is it going to be you just progress as a complete football team? You're taking steps forward instead of just in areas of football taking steps forward while other steps take back.
Do you have real concerns about the LSU defense because of the Ole Miss and Vanderbilt games, or you feel like the offense still hasn't done its fair share?
Well, certainly the offense needs to improve, but yeah, I have concerns with this defense, especially it looks like Weeks won't be playing again this week. It does look like Bernard Gooden will be back, and that's massive for sure. It's a big deal, but you'd like to get your best player on this defense with Weeks back, and more importantly, you would like to see your defense pick up right where it left off. If you left, when you lose a guy like that, as it did against Florida, by the way, they did look good without him. But clearly to me, Jamari Butler, Bernard Gooden, Gabriel Relaford, Whit Weeks, it was just too much for them to overcome. And Gabriel Relaford isn't coming back. Whit Weeks won't be back this week. So certainly I still have my concerns.
Do you feel the offense has taken some strides the last 2 weeks? Not great, but they did move the ball a ton on South Carolina. They did score on 5 of 6 drives and missed a field goal on the 6th against Vanderbilt.
Yeah, I feel like there is making some steady progress on offense. I also feel that Nussmeier is feeling himself again. He's able to throw the ball much deeper and much more accurately. It's still not good enough to carry the defense when it struggles. I remember teams like the 2007 teams for LSU where that offense wasn't super electrifying by any stretch of the imagination, and the defense was legitimately elite. But, even elite defenses go out there and have their days where they're not great. Think about Arkansas, where in triple overtime you give up 50 points. That offense was at least dynamic enough and explosive enough to keep up when the defense doesn't carry its pace. And clearly now the bar was set a lot lower for the offense because you figured the defense was going to be so elite that nobody was going out there and scoring 25 on them, right? Well, now that bar has been moved. Like, okay, now you got to be explosive enough to keep up when the defense has an off day.
What concerns you the most about Texas A&M on Saturday night?
Fine. A lot concerns me, man. I'll put it like this, okay? The biggest concern I have is that Tiger Stadium doesn't show up and it's electric because, if you're evaluating these football teams right now, Texas A&M looks like the better football team. I get they struggled against Arkansas, whatever. I mean, it's a bad matchup, and they are legitimately looking like the better football team. It's the reason they're one of the first teams not named Alabama to be favored in Tiger Stadium in a long time. I honestly think the best explanation for why LSU could win this game is the unexplainable. It is that Tiger Stadium magic and juju we've seen when they've had games stacked up against better teams and they just pull something out of their hat, like Ole Miss last year, right? That's what I'm hoping for. My concern is that the fan base has abandoned ship and they won't show up and bring that magic tomorrow night. That's my biggest concern because there's nothing about the matchup itself that encourages me. If you're betting on LSU, you're betting on the juju.
Yeah, I was going to be my next question. Is there a spot that you feel like LSU is good? What about LSU's secondary? What about their wide receivers? Like, is there any spot on the field that you feel okay about with LSU, or do you feel like it's all maroon?
Well, certainly their ability to, limit the passing game. Absolutely. Although Marshall Reed has improved greatly as a passer. Mansour Delane still doing his thing out there. He's arguably the best cornerback in college football. Certainly there's areas I feel good about, but there's enough areas where that front seven is very strong and talented for Texas A&M, and LSU's O-line is pretty brutal, and you just lost your best lineman, your Tyree Adams, and you're probably going to be sticking a true freshman out there, which I think is an improvement from when he was talking about DJ Chester at the beginning of the week. And then you got to think about Marshall Reed being such a dynamic athlete and the Achilles heel of this defense being dynamic, mobile quarterbacks. All these things scare me.
We're going to do this on both sides. I'll start with the bad, and obviously matters how things look, but big picture, like what if LSU loses Saturday night?
Yeah, I mean that's at this point that's what all the experts are expecting, and I do think that you're going to be looking at a pretty big meltdown because 2 losses, certainly things look bleak right now. At 3 losses, that's pretty much a death sentence. Even if you do pull the improbable win out, you still might not make it to the college football playoff. So basically, you're you're on life support right now, and basically you're in cardiac arrest if you lose this game.
What if LSU wins?
If you win, certainly, and look, that would just, being on the LSU beat as long as I have, that would just make total sense if LSU pulled a rabbit out of their hat and won this game. The picture becomes a little messier. Has this team shown progress, or is that just A&M not being able to do their part in coming to Tiger Stadium, and maybe they were a little overhyped? And time will tell. You have a daunting task ahead of you. Basically, you still need to win out to do it, and that includes road trips at Oklahoma and at Alabama, two games that you will not be favored in. And if I rip off that list of 8 wins that Brian Kelly has ripped off on the road during the regular season, nothing about that is going to inspire confidence to make you think that he can pull off 2 straight wins against high-quality SEC opponents on the road when in 4 years he's 8-11. So that's kind of where you're at. You're alive, but it's a daunting task still.
All right, how do you think it goes on Saturday night?
Yeah, look, man, I've got a vibe on this one. This is either a blowout for Texas A&M or LSU is going to find a way to win the game. Kind of think like Ole Miss 2014 when they came, 2014 when they came in as number 3 team in the country, and it's like, even though a lot of people picking LSU to win that game, I mean, it was like Ole Miss was undefeated and doing their thing. So, yeah, I think LSU finds a way to win this one, or it's just going to be a blowout. I hate to go with the dual prediction there, but that's just what my gut's telling me.
All right. Well, we'll see how things go. We'll see you in the press box on Saturday night. We'll talk next week.
All right, see you then, Hunt.
He's Preston Guy, tigerbait.com for all of his content. It's an interesting feeling. I put so much on that LSU Vanderbilt game, as I said back last week. If LSU could just find somehow, some way to beat Vanderbilt by 1 point, you were going to set up just a monster environment on a Saturday night in Death Valley. And now you've lost the game. The fan base is cranky, and the weather forecast is iffy. Like, it flips so quickly in this sport. I wrote this in a column today at LouisianaSports.net, which you can read for free there. This is the most unforgiving sport we have in American sport that I can think of. I mean, you have a bad April in SEC baseball. Like, it's not that big a deal. You can recover from it. You have a bad January in college basketball. Like, you can recover from that. If a team goes into a swoon in June in the MLB, like, they can come out on the other side of that. You have a tough stretch in December in the NBA. It's fine. You can bounce back in the spring. Got a tough, first week 4, 5, 6. You're not very good in the NFL. That's okay. You can recover from it. You can't recover in college football. You have to be good start to finish. You get a couple of hiccups now because of the new expanded playoff, but it's not very forgiving. And that's where LSU finds itself. Like, things switch so quickly in this sport that it can change the outlook of a game in a major way just over the course of 3 hours. And that's what you kind of got on Saturday night. So we'll see what kind of crowd shows up inside Tiger Stadium. I'm anxious about it. I talked about that earlier in the week, but we won't know until we get in there. All right, we got 2 more segments to go. My pick for LSU and Texas A&M coming up a little bit later. When we come back, got some Aggie themed. Take it or leave it. I think you'll enjoy that. We'll do it next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge. SwingEasyGCBR.com is the website. Weekend is here. You want to hit some golf balls, but the rain's coming. It's okay. Never rains inside Swing Easy Golf Club. You've got the controlled environment of those simulators in your personal bay. You can have some friends in there or go by yourself. Hit some balls on the driving range feature where you can see the flight of your ball and the trajectory. You can see your ball speed. You can see your carry distance. You can see that slow-mo club impact, or hang out with some friends. Turn the simulator on one of your favorite famous golf courses and play that for a couple of hours. Turns a 4-hour golf round into a 45-minute golf round. It's quite nice there inside Swing Easy Golf Club. You can get a membership or just stop in and grab a tee time. Go by this weekend. See it. It's a phenomenal place. Awesome experience. I love my time at Swing Easy Golf Club. You will as well. It's there on Segan near Perkins. It's Swing Easy Golf Club online at swingeasygcbr.com.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, They cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, Ice Cubes.
When it comes to pipe fabrication, time is money. And at River Parish Contractors, we make every second count. Our 36,000 square foot shop is ready to take on your projects right now. With experienced welders, precise fittings, and fast turnarounds you can trust. Whether it's a single custom spool or a full-scale run, we have the capacity and the skill to keep your job on schedule. Call us or visit rpcontractors.com for your quote. That's rpcontractors.com.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Trust isn't given, it's earned by showing up, leading the way, and performing at your best when it matters most. Our Lady of the Lake sports medicine experts know what it takes to improve performance and build champions at every level. That's why LSU chose Our Lady of the Lake as its championship health partner, trusting Louisiana's best medical team to care for our state's best athletes. From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
I trust the lake.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Friday's AFR from Don Juan.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Corks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp.
I've picked against one home team earlier today. Took the Bucs against the Saints. Get my LSU Texas A&M pick coming up here in about 20 minutes or so. Reminder, we will start things up Eagle 98.1 game day at 1:45 tomorrow. It'll be Charles Hannegriff and Matt Musso from Rouse's, Burbank, and Lee. You can check them out on your way to campus or just on Eagle 98.1. They'll hand things off to me on the LSU Sports Radio Network at 4:45 tomorrow. We'll be just outside the Maravich Center across the street from Tiger Stadium. We'll go for about an hour and a half or so. Hand it off to the broadcast team there. Chris Blair, Jacob Hester, Gordy Rush will call the game 30 minutes after it goes final. Me, Brandon Marlin on the LSU Sports Radio Network post-game show. And then 90 minutes after the game goes final, Eagle 98.1 Game Day's post-game show from right here in studio. Charles Hannegriff and Richard Dixon. So full day for y'all tomorrow from about 1:45 p.m. till probably about 1:45 a.m. For LSU and Texas A&M. My pick coming in 20 minutes. For now, take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Presented to you by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer, crafted by America's oldest brewery. Today's hottest stories in sports, news, and sometimes even Hunt's life. The question is, will he take them or leave them?
Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer, heading out to tailgate tomorrow or knocking a few back this evening. Flight by Yingling is an awesome option, just 95 calories, 2.6 carbs, all the flavor you're looking for. From the oldest brewery in America, still family owned and operated, it is Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer.
All right, let's start it off with something a little, well, we'll see what you think about it. The NFL announced Friday that New York Giants rookie Cam Scatterbull and head coach Brian Daboll were fined for violating protocol while quarterback Jackson Dart was being evaluated for a concussion over the team's Week 6 victory over the Eagles. It was noted Scatterbull was fined $15,000, Daboll was fined $100,000, and the Giants organization was fined $200,000 for this incident. Is this the most expensive blue tent visit in NFL history? Take it or leave it.
I guess I got to take it. I mean, that's pretty pricey. You know what I was wondering? Who in the organization is in charge of putting those fines in players' lockers? I've heard Hester and Flynn talk about getting fined. You put a little, envelope in your locker, and you see it, and that's how you know. But I don't think, certainly Goodell's not flying around the country dropping those off. They obviously issue them, and somebody with the team has probably got to go in there and do that.
I think it might be like the little intern or something.
I would be absolutely petrified to walk into an NFL locker room and slip a $15,000 fine.
The Cam Scatterbull. Yeah.
No thanks. I don't want that job. I'll go do the laundry. I'll go paint the sideline. I'll do a bad job of both probably. I'm not telling a guy that he's got to write a check for $15,000. That ain't my gig.
Oh, no, not in the slightest. So this is a good one. Will the New York Jets get their first victory of the season versus Hunt's Cincinnati Bengals on Sunday? Take it or leave it.
I think I'm going to take it.
Ooh.
I'll take it. Bengals got the win last week, but it felt like it was just Flacco throwing it to Chase. You got Sauce Gardner on the other side.
And they 0-6. They need a W.
I mean, they're not going 0-17, I don't think. They are the Jets. The Jets could win. I started reading that somebody was saying, well, the Bengals, Joe could come back and they could make a playoff push. Just stop it. They're not making a playoff push with Joe Flacco.
No, they're just more entertaining now. Yeah. That's it. Okay, so the Aggie War Hymn, take it or leave it.
I'm torn on that. I'll take it.
Whoa.
I'll take it. Look, I am perfectly willing to admit traditions that I like for teams that I hate.
Okay.
I'm also willing to tell you when a tradition is stupid.
Okay.
Here's the deal with the Aggie War Hymn. It is a very cool thing when they lock the arms and start swaying and the whole stadium starts shaking. I've been in Kyle Field 2012 in the press box. When they do the Aggie War Hymn, the press box literally shakes. And that looks really cool. Does it look cool at a wedding when 50 of them do it? No. And the words are pathetic. It's all about Texas. Saw the varsity's horns off. It's all about how we have. It's an inferiority complex. Everything they do revolves around Texas. Yes, but I like the swaying in the stadium. So I will, because that's the most important piece of it, and most people don't even know what the words are. Yeah, I will go ahead and take it.
So visually wise, you like the visuals.
Yes.
But other than that, no. Okay, so the A&M band, take it or leave it.
Take it. Their band is incredible. Oh. If you have never seen the Aggie band do their step by step, the first time I saw it, A&M played in the Independence Bowl in Shreveport when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And we literally stayed in our seat for halftime. They're all in lockstep, and then they start going opposite directions, and it's visually stimulating to see how cool their marching is. Their band is awesome. I will take that for sure.
Okay, so staying on A&M, the Midnight Yell, take it or leave it.
I'll leave this.
Thank
This is
you.
stupid.
Leave it alone.
The Midnight Yell is stupid.
Okay, I was a little worried where you was going.
Okay. Just even take the yell leaders out of it, which everyone knows are a punchline.
Big 'em, Axe.
The jokes are awful. Take that even out of it, which is the worst part. If you're in college and it's Friday night, I'm not trying to be too cool for school here, but let's go to the bar and hang out instead of going into the stadium and watching the yell leaders make bad jokes.
Big 'em, Axe.
And the worst thing they could do is then put the yell practice on the internet so we all can see it because we know it's stupid.
Yep.
Band is great. I'm in on the War Hymn. The Midnight Yell's got to go. It is not cool. Friday night in college is you can't get any better than that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go to Kyle Field and sit there where there's no cold pop available and listen to the yell leader. No shot. Pep rallies left in high school. Sorry.
It's funny because the first time I seen the Midnight Yell, that made me Google, is Texas A&M a cult? I had to really dive down to the bottom of it.
I wonder what AI would say to that because it is.
Yeah. Pretty much is. Okay, so the 12th man on special teams, take it or leave it.
Take it. This is good. Wear the number 12. It's a walk-on. You get that guy on special teams. They've had some good players that have worn that number. Yes, that's a good tradition. I'm in on that. That's good. Midnight Yell.
Get that out of here. Get that out of here. Kevin Gausman and the Blue Jays will win this game. Will win a game this weekend. Take it or leave it.
I'll take it. They're at home.
I'll take it.
I know Snell's going. You're probably going to get Yamamoto in the second game. Like, it's a tall order, but they've also got Trey Savage going. For LSU baseball fans who don't really pay attention to major leagues, Trey Savage is pitching the best for the Blue Jays right now. Gausman's technically the ace, but Savage has been awesome. He's starting tonight. He was the ace at East Carolina 2 years ago, and their number 2 is Zach Root, who was Arkansas's ace this year. That was a really good East Carolina team that didn't get to Omaha. And all of a sudden, like, Root was the ace on one of the best teams in the country this year, and Savage is pitching in the World Series. So that was a really good East Carolina team. I think Kevin will pitch on either Saturday or Sunday, whichever day they play on. For Milwaukee, for Toronto. I think they'll get one. They won't get two, and they might get swept.
They better get one.
I think they'll get one.
Okay, so will Tyler Shuck get snaps on Sunday? Take it or leave it?
I'll leave it. Obviously, barring injury is what we're talking about here. I don't think they're going to make that change, and I don't know if Tampa's going to run away from the Saints to make that happen. They're so banged up that it just. I picked Tampa to win. I picked them to win by 2 scores, but I don't think this looks like the Seattle game, at which point you did see Shuck for a little bit of that game. I think this is still Rattler's game, and I think he'll finish it.
Yeah, other than, he'll have a meltdown like he did against the Bears, I don't see Shuck even coming close to getting to the game. So, Hunt went a little mean with this one, but I'll say it anyway. Victor Wembanyama will ruin the Pels' homecoming tonight. Take it or leave it.
I'll leave it. I think the Pels win tonight.
Okay.
Wemby was awesome in the opener. He's not going to do that every night with the step-back threes and the crazy reverse jams. He does. I've never seen an NBA player look more like he was playing on an 8-foot goal than Victor Wembanyama. That gives me all kinds of vibes of playing on a kid's goal. Like, he is.
He's literally people be like generational talent, and they overuse the word generational
that's a bad
talent.
Cliche. I talked about it at the top of the show. Bad cliche, generational talent.
He is a generational talent.
He is.
That is, when you look that up in the dictionary, you will see a picture of Victor Wembanyama. Now, I'm going to have to take it, unfortunately. Yeah, I got to take it. It's just, you have no more big men. Misi's going to be out.
You got DeAndre Jordan, boss.
Look, that's cool. The Pelicans posted some highlights. He was making dunks against the Charlotte Bobcats, who are not even a team anymore. So that just lets you know when the last time DeAndre Jordan was valuable.
Here's a question. I'll put you on the spot a little bit.
Put me on the spot.
You're very young. Where did DeAndre Jordan go to college?
Oh, I do know this. Texas A&M.
Texas A&M.
So, sorry that 45-year-old DeAndre Jordan is not going to change my outlook of the game tonight. You got Derek Queen, Kevon Looney, and Jordan Kitchens playing center for the Pelicans tonight.
Here's the deal on Derek Queen. I only watched the last 8 minutes of the Pels game. I didn't watch the first 3 quarters. Apparently, they were terrible in the third quarter.
Always.
There was the word from my group chat folks who were watching were that Queen looked slow. Just didn't look like he was moving at the pace he needed to be.
Well, he was always slow. He was slow at Maryland, so it's not like he was going to come out there looking like Usain Bolt. But no, he's working his way back. But this is not the matchup for Derek. We just watched Victor Wembanyama give Anthony Davis and Derek Lively 40
points.
Yeah, Queen and a corpse of DeAndre Jordan have nothing to do with it.
DeAndre just showed up. Hand him a beignet and get out on the court, boss.
He looked like a coach. When they showed the picture of him at practice today, he's already on the team. He looked like a coach.
Oh, man, DeAndre Jordan. Hopefully it's a tough weekend for his alma mater's football team. But I guess that's what I've got to tell you in the next segment. We got to pick LSU and Texas A&M. That's our last order of business here on this Football Friday. So let's step aside, come back, and close it out next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Genesis of Baton Rouge. GenesisofBatonRouge.com is the website. I want to tell y'all that Genesis is happy to rent you a vehicle in the short term. If you are making a trip for Thanksgiving with the family, making a trip for Christmas with the family, you got a road trip coming up. Maybe it's to a football game if that's the case, and you don't want to put those miles on your vehicle, and you might want to get behind the wheel of a Genesis. Just go rent from the folks over at Genesis of Baton Rouge. GV80 is an awesome ride. It's a midsize SUV. It's my favorite model in the line, and you can try it out, and you can see what it's like to get behind the wheel of a Genesis. Most of you driving around right now in Baton Rouge have not been behind the wheel of a Genesis. Change that. It's a luxury brand at a reasonable price, and they will rent you a vehicle if you've got a road trip coming up that you'd like to get on moving. So it's Genesis of Baton Rouge. Find them online, genesisofbatonrouge.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Friday's AFR from Don Juan Cigar Bar, presented by Pinhook Bourbon. We'll have craft cocktails, whiskey samples, previewing the Tigers and the Aggies. Join us for AFR 3 to 6, presented by Pinhook Bourbon.
Parrish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parrishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parrishbuilt.com.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and First American Bank and Trust bring you the Heart of the Game Award, recognizing student athletes who deliver when it counts. Nominate your game day standout at 1045ESPN.com by the 21st. We'll choose 5 male and 5 female finalists, and then it's up to the fans to vote for the winners. Each winner gets a $250 gift card, a custom award, and the spotlight they've earned. Presented by First American Bank and Trust, a banking tradition since 1910.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Corks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp.
Football Fridays on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, live and local all day long. It starts with Off the Bench, 7 o'clock to 10 a.m. from Rouse's, Burbank, and Lee. They hand things off to the crew at Rufino's. They're live at lunch from 10 to 1 o'clock. I'm here 1 to 3. Matt, 3 to 6 on AFR. He'll be at Don Juan Cigar Bar today. Then we'll have Cade Wassan with Louisiana Prep Preview, 6 o'clock, running up to 6:45, Catholic High pregame and kickoff. So until about 9 o'clock from 7 a.m., we are live and local on Football Fridays here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Thank you all for making us part of your Fridays. It's a gorgeous one here in the capital city. Hope you're out there enjoying it. If you're not done with the work week yet, we will get you to the finish line. If your time is up, enjoy it out here in South Louisiana before that wet weather comes in later on this weekend. I want to remind you about Corks before we get to the game pick. Corks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp, delicious crispy fried catfish, that jumbo Gulf shrimp, crispy shoestring fries, awesome po' boys. They've also got those famous baked potatoes with the crawfish etouffee on top and topped with those golden Gulf shrimp. Got your hush puppies, got your coleslaw, got all the sauces your heart desires. They've got your cocktail, your tartar. The Cork sauce is A+. If you're looking to feed a tailgate, looking to feed a watch party, Corks, happy to help you with bulk orders. Just give them a little bit of notice, and they are happy to assist you in that way. The entire menu is online at corksfishandshrimp.com. All right, we really have, I have over the last 3 days analyzed this game from every angle I can find. I talked today about the importance of LSU's quarterback play. You just simply have too many flaws on this team for the quarterback not to make up for them. Meaning, if he's not great, it's just hard to lean somewhere else other than trying to put all the weight in the world on the defense. And sometimes they show up at Clemson or against Florida, a team that doesn't have a very good offense. But A&M just is balanced. A&M threw for 300 on Notre Dame. They ran for 200 on Arkansas and Auburn. They've just got multiple ways to beat you. They can hit you with the big play. Craver's been awesome at that. There's just a lot of ways that A&M can beat you. So for Garrett Nussmeier, if he throws 2 interceptions in this game or is inaccurate on third downs,
Like, you're not going to lean on the running game to go beat Texas A&M, and then you're asking too much of the defense. So Garrett Nussmeier's got to be very, very good. I think the most intriguing aspect of this game, especially from a talent perspective, is on the perimeter when Texas A&M has the football. Casey Concepcion and Mario Craver are two of the best wide receivers in college football. Like, they have been sensational this year for Texas A&M. You're talking about a couple of guys who have just lit it up on third downs, who have lit it up getting touchdowns. Craver leads the SEC in receiving yards per game at just a shade under 100. Concepcion is second in the SEC in touchdown catches. He's got 6 of those. The Aggies get a lot of 20-yard passes. They're third in the Southeastern Conference with 19 big play passes on the season. Well, LSU, you got to step up. That's Mansour Delane. That's P.J. Woodland, who's playing really good football right now. That's DJ Pickett, who's getting better and better each week. Does Colin Klein and then Marcel Reed decide, hey, we don't care that you got Mansour Delane over there. We trust our guys. We're going. Do they take that approach? Or do they do what Lane Kiffin said 2 weeks ago and say, hey, we know Delane's as good as it gets. We're going to go elsewhere. Y'all remember how often they threw at Woodland, how often they threw at Pickett? They got some pass interference calls. They hit some plays. Now, Woodland made one coming back, but they decided they were going to go with those two guys. I am very curious what Colin Klein and Marcel Reed decide to do from that perspective, because that'll tell me a lot about where they are from a game plan perspective. I mentioned at the top of the show today, Texas A&M has a very, very, very veteran offensive line. LSU has a very, very veteran defensive line. LSU has to rise to that occasion. You're getting Bernard Gooden back, it feels like. You're getting Jamari Butler back. You've still got Peyton and Pyburn and Guillory and Bro and McKinley. You've got numbers. I realize you'd like to have Whit Weeks back there, but you have to hold your own at the point of attack. My point with this LSU defense is if you can limit the run game. They made Clemson quit trying to run it. They made Florida quit trying to run it. Those are worse teams than A&M, but they held their own there. And Florida's got a veteran offensive line. But if you can put the game in Marcel Reed's hand where he's got to go against those LSU DBs, I think that gives you a shot. But if you allow A&M to just hand the ball off to Reuben Owens and let him go and run, like, they won't turn anything else. They'll get to the read option game. You saw it in the second half last year against LSU. They're happy to do that. Offensively for LSU, a lot's going to be made of the offensive front. I am very excited that they're giving Carius Curran the opportunity to play left tackle. I know what you've got in DJ Chester at left tackle. I know what you've got in Weston Davis at right tackle. Curran is an option, and he's got to be. So you turn him loose at left tackle. You understand there may be a stake here and there, but the crowd's not going to get to him because it's not going to be that loud when LSU's got the football. And Brian Kelly said when Curran got that opportunity to play in Oxford when Weston Davis got hurt pregame in that freak accident that he did some really good things. Now, he made some errors, but he did some really good things. LSU's going to try to run the ball. You're going to see more Harlan Berry. You're going to see Caden Durham. You're going to see Juwan Johnson. But Nussmeier's the guy that's got to make some plays. They have created open men down the field the last few games. They did it against Ole Miss, and he underthrew Hilton. They did it against South Carolina. Hilton dropped it. That play is probably going to be there at some point. It absolutely has to be made, and that falls on Nussmeier, and then it falls on the receivers to make that catch. A&M has Will Lee back there in coverage, but it's not the strength of their defense. The strength of their defense is up front. It is the pass rush. You get into third and longs, that pass rush can eat. Cassius Howell is a bad dude. He leads the SEC in sacks. No matter what side he's on, it's either Weston Davis, who struggled, or you're talking about Carius Curran, who's a freshman. If you get into too many 3rd and 8s, 3rd and 11s, get a holding penalty here, put you behind the chains, have a bad tackle for loss here, you let A&M turn it loose with that pass rush, it's trouble. Got to try to stay ahead of those sticks. A lot of this is cliche stuff, but it's very true. The fact of the matter is that Texas A&M has more avenues to win the game than LSU. They've shown that this year. They've shown they can run it. They've shown they can throw it. They've shown they can beat you with defense. They've shown they can win a shootout. LSU's only blueprint to win a game is stuff you on defense and score 20 on offense. Like that's the only blueprint we've seen from LSU. That makes things really tough. When you have one pitch, one way to win, that makes things really difficult. A&M's got multiple. The Aggies have never won in Tiger Stadium since joining the Southeastern Conference. Gotten close. Should have won in 2021. Max Johnson, Jeray Jenkins, late touchdown, erased that. This game has gone to the home team back and forth since 2016.
It is an intense rivalry. It's one that I think both schools would probably point to other schools that they hate, that they're more concerned with. Texas A&M would point to Texas. LSU looks at Bama, looks at Florida, looks at Ole Miss at times. But these two, it's butted into a rivalry. Started early on when LSU was dominating. Then you had the crazy 7 overtime game. LSU repaid that the next year with a domination. A&M beat LSU bad in 2020 in the COVID year in College Station. It's become a real rivalry. And I expect a big, big, big contingent of Maroon headed down I-10 today. I do. And my fear is if the Aggies get rolling like they did in the second half last year, that LSU crowd empties out. But what also is true is that if LSU can bring the fight, get an early score, get an early lead, we know that crowd can buoy LSU. And the Tigers beat a more talented team in Ole Miss in that stadium last year. I think the crowd had a lot to do with that. And playing that defense, which I still think is pretty good, in front of that crowd is a tough assignment. I was very, very fascinated to get the picks from our station for Station Survey, which will go up on LouisianaSports.net tomorrow morning. Because no one's picked against LSU all year on Station Survey. I am this week. I don't trust LSU's offense, and I don't think the defense is going to be able to muzzle Marcel Reed and this A&M team. It gives me a lot of anxiety and a lot of apprehension to potentially watch A&M come in and put 15,000 in that stadium and drive LSU fans out of there. It gives me a lot of apprehension. I hope it doesn't happen. But right now, I just don't trust LSU in a lot of phases. So I've got this one 30-16, Texas A&M winning it. I certainly hope I am dead wrong. But it's a must-win for LSU. Your season's on life support. The plug gets pulled if you can't beat Texas A&M in Saturday night in Death Valley. I hope they do it. I just can't pick them to do it based on what I've seen. We'll see. If you've got tickets, I sincerely hope you do show up. We'll see what the weather looks like. Either way, we'll be talking about it on Monday's show. Matt's ready to drive you home on After Further Review. He'll be at Don Juan's Cigar Bar. We'll see you Monday for a week starter, The Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical.